To create a room finish schedule in Revit, you must first define the rooms and label them. You can see I've done that here in the small office building. We have 6 different rooms and they're all labeled. To add finishes to your room finish schedule, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either highlight the room. In this instance, be careful not to confuse the tag, which is the actual label. When you highlight the tag, you get a red border showing the boundary of the room. The tag will not allow you to add finishes to your schedule, but what you do need to do is find the actual room, and that is by hovering near the intersection where the tag is found. And you can select the room, and you can tell by the entire volume being shaded blue. When you select the room, you can come to the project properties here and start filling in room finishes. For instance, the base finish might be a rubber base black. The ceiling finish might be an acoustical ceiling tile 2x4, and so on and so forth. Your floor finish might be carpet. And you can go by room and fill them all in. Or you can create a schedule and fill it in through that. To create the schedule, you will go to your View tab, your Create panel, and your Schedule icon. Your Schedule icon has a drop-down menu, and if you select Schedule and Quantities, you get a dialog box. The first thing you'll want to do is select which type of schedule you want. In this instance, when we're creating a room finish schedule, we'll do that by a room schedule. We select room, select OK, and now you can pick the fields that you want your schedule to show. We will want to show the base finish, the ceiling finish. So you select it on the left and you use the green arrow to put it in the selected fields category. We'll want comments, maybe the level that the room is found on, the name of the room, the number of the room, and the wall finish. I think we missed floor finish as well. And then we can rearrange here the order in which we want them to be found. So the name might be up near the top, with the number being the very first thing we see. Followed by usually the floor finishes next. Then the base finish, the wall finish, the ceiling finish, and then comments is usually last, and we'll put the level up here after the name. Once we have that, we can press OK, and we get the schedule, and you can see that in room 2, it's already filled in with the items that we filled in earlier through the model. And we can continue this here. Once you fill in one material, it'll show up in the drop-down menu in case you want to reuse it. And if you need a different material, you just type it in. The lobby might have stone, and the offices all might have carpet, and the conference room might have vinyl tile. And you work your way through and fill in the room schedule. To place this room schedule on a sheet, you can go to your sheet, title block. You can see that the floor plan is already placed there, and the schedule you can just go to your project browser, left click and drag. When you let go of it, of the mouse button, then you can place it, click again, and that'll place it on the sheet. You can modify the length of the rows or the width of the columns by using these arrows here. There we go. Now sometimes you might need to create categories within a category. For instance, your wall finishes. Sometimes you might need to show all 4 walls of each room in your schedule, in case you have an accent wall in every room, or you have some walls that have acoustical panels and such. To do that, we'll go back to our room schedule. We'll go ahead and go to the fields, and this is where we selected the parameters we wanted to show in our schedule. If you look through the available fields, we do not see any kind of wall finish where we break out the different walls within a room. So we'll have to create our own, and we can do that here. If you hover over this, you can see that this creates a new parameter. So we'll create a new parameter, and we'll just call this north to imply the north wall of that room. We'll need to change the type of the parameter from a length to a text. And we can say OK. We'll need to do this 3 more times for the other walls of each room. North, south, east, and west. Making sure that each one is a text parameter and not any other type of parameter. Once we've created all of them, we'll say OK, and you can see that they are all lined up here. However, you can see that these wall listings are at the end, and we still have the wall finish column. What we might want to do is group these 4 together and label them all under wall finish. And the way we do that is we highlight the titles of the columns and we group them all together. When we group them together, they get a heading above the 4 that we can then type what we need to above it. In this case, we'll call it wall finishes. We no longer need the wall finish column here, so we can highlight this one, right-click, and delete that column. Now we'll go back to the fields, and we will place the comments at the end and the ceiling finish behind the walls, and hit OK. And now we can go in and fill each wall for each room. So in this case, this might be painted for the conference room, and this might be the accent wall that is now purple. And all the other walls might be painted white. Once we have that, we can easily the material did not show up here in the drop-down menu because we had not placed one in that column yet. Once we have that, now they'll show up and we can just go through and fill out our entire schedule, and maybe the accent walls for the other rooms are different colors. Then we can go back to our sheet, and you can see that the room schedule is getting filled in as we go. And again, you can do this, you can fill in the materials either by going through the schedule or going through the actual model. If you can find the room and select it, you can fill in the materials over here. Floor finish, the wall finish. Well, the wall finish still shows up here even though it's not in the room schedule. And that's okay, we could fill that in, it just would not show up here because we broke it down into the 4. Ceiling finish might be gypboard in this case. And you can see that it just showed up right there. And that is how you create room schedules.